angel's voice, a trembling yes, a promise wrapped in holiness. No crown, no throne, no guarantee, just faith enough to believe. A village wide, a whisper spread, a sort of fear above her head. Yet in the silence of her room, she chose God's will, not fear or doom. Questions heavy in her eyes, still she trusted God's design. She kept these things within her heart, every wound, every dark part. Through the waiting, through the pain, she believed the joy would come again. Mother Mary's story stands alive, surrendered in God's hands. A stable floor, no place to stay. The Savior born in humble hay. She held the Word made flesh so small, while heaven watched her not let go. Years went by in quiet days, laundry, tears, and simple prayer. She didn't know the when or how, she only knew to trust Him now. Not every miracle was loud, most were hidden, wholly bowed. She kept these things within her heart, every wound, every dark part. Through the waiting, through the pain, she believed the joy would come again. Mother Mary's story stands alive, surrendered in God's hands. On Calvary's hill she stood in pain, watching love be crucified. No angel came to pull Him down, still she did not run or cry out. The promise felt so far away, but Sunday was already on. The noise of judgment filled the air. The crowds began to cry, but she remained in silence there beneath the darkening sky. While anger roared like thunderclaps and mockery was loud, she stood apart, a quiet light amidst the shifting crowd. She walked the valley of the lost, where hope is hard to find, to bear the weight of all the grief that plagues all of mankind. She saw the faces of the ones who nailed Him to the tree, and in her pain she loved them still and prayed that they would see. Her silence is a shield of promise for the wandering soul, a love that gathers up the fragments to make them whole. From mountains of our prideful sin to depths of our despair, she meets the sinner with a grace that's woven in her prayer. triumphs over judgment, love conquers hate. While spiritual warfare rages on, she holds the candle high, a beacon for the prodigal beneath the storm-tossed sky. Her silence is a shield of promise, a love that gathers up the fragments. Our prideful sin to depths of our despair. She meets the sinner with the grace that's woven in her prayer. The words are few, the love is deep, the silence is a song. She guides the sinner home to where the righteous souls belong. A gentle gaze, a quiet breath, the storm begins to cease. We find within her silent strength the perfect path to peace. In Nazareth, the dusty wind was still against the door, when suddenly a golden light spilled out across the floor. An angel stood with burning wings, the messenger of old, to speak the ancient mystery the prophets had foretold. The world held breath in silence, then creation ceased to groan, to see if she would welcome in the King upon his throne. Across the valley of the dark, where fear and sin collide, she cast aside all human doubt to let the Lord abide. Be it done to me, she said, the word that shook the night. A shield of promise forged in faith, a beacon burning bright. The mountains bowed their stony heads to hear the maiden's voice, for heaven waited on the earth to make the holy choice. The serpent's head was crushed beneath the weight of her consent. The sword of truth slashed through the dark, the veil of gloom was rent, while spiritual warfare raged unseen within the spirit realm. The queen took up her destiny and stood upon the helm. Be it done to me, she said, the word that shook the night. A shield of promise forged in faith, a beacon burning bright. The mountains bowed their stony heads to hear the maiden's voice, for heaven waited on the earth to make the holy choice. but she was not alone. The Word made flesh now rested there, a temple of his own. The first tabernacle stands, the ark of covenant true. She carries God within her heart to give him now to you. The noise of judgment filled the air, the crowds began to cry, but she remained in silence there beneath the darkening sky. While anger roared like thunderclaps and mockery was loud, she stood apart, a quiet light amidst the shifting crowd. She walked the valley of the lost, where hope is hard to find, to bear the weight of all the grief that plagues all of mankind. She saw the faces of the ones who nailed him to the tree, and in her pain she loved them still and prayed that they would see. Her silence is a shield of promise for the wandering soul, a love that gathers up the fragments just to make them whole. From mountains of our prideful sin to depths of our despair, she meets the sinner with a grace that's woven in her prayer. The sword of truth that pierced her heart has opened up the gate, for mercy triumphs over judgment, love conquers hate. While spiritual warfare rages on, she holds the candle high, a beacon for the prodigal beneath the storm-tossed sky. Her silence is a shield of promise for the wandering soul, a love that gathers up the fragments just to make them whole. From mountains of our prideful sin to depths of our despair, she meets the sinner with a grace that's woven in her prayer. The words are few, the love is deep, the silence is a song. She guides the sinner home to where the righteous souls belong. A gentle gaze, a quiet breath, the storm begins to cease. We find within her silent strength the perfect path to peace. The night is long, the shadows creep, the enemy draws near. But in our hands we hold a light that banishes the fear. A simple chain of 50 roses woven for the King, to to guard the heart against the dark and make the spirit sing. We walk the valley of the skull, the path of sweat and blood, to stand beneath the crimson flow of mercy's healing flood. Then climb the mountain of the Lord where death has lost its sting, and watch the stone roll from the grave to let the Easter ring. Oh, hail the Queen who leads the fight, with lilies in her hand, a sword of truth disguised as prayer, to guard the weary land. She ties the knots of history and breaks the snares of sin, and opens wide the heavy doors to let the Savior in. This is the spiritual warfare, the battle of the knees, to calm the raging of the winds and silence stormy seas. We raise the shield of promise high, the gospel in a beam, and trust the Mother's intercession in our hour of need. Oh, hail the Queen who leads the fight, with lilies in her hand, a sword of truth disguised as prayer, to guard the weary land. She ties the knots of history and breaks the snares of sin, and opens wide the heavy doors to let the Savior in. Before the stars were set in place, or time began its race, the Father chose a vessel pure to hold the source of grace. A lily blooming white as snow amidst the thorns of earth, preserved within the mind of God before her holy birth. The ancient stain of Adam's fall that swept across the land was halted by a shield of promise held within God's hand. No shadow touched her radiant soul, no darkness found a room. The ark of gold prepared to bear the light within her womb. Oh, immaculate, the morning star that heralds in the sun, the victory of grace and love had only just begun. From valleys of our brokenness to mountains deep and high, you reflect the heavens' glory in the midnight of our sky. The serpent waited in the dark to strike the woman's heel, but she was clothed in holiness that served as holy steel. The sword of truth was on her side, the crushing of the head. Through her, yes, the life would come to wake us from the dead. Oh, immaculate, the morning star that heralds in the sun, the victory of grace and love had only just begun. From valleys of our brokenness to mountains deep and high, you reflect the heavens' glory in the midnight Full of grace and free from sin, the masterpiece is done. She shines in quiet splendor as the mother of the sun. A perfect mirror of the light, a love that's deep and broad. The solitary boast of our humanity to She wove a tunic without seams to warm the heart of all, and watched him learn to walk the earth, to rise and then to fall. In quiet days of Nazareth, beneath the azure sky, she taught the maker of the stars a lullaby to cry. Through every valley deep and wide, she kept a watchful gaze, a constant fire in the night, a light throughout the day. Those swords of truth lay waiting there to pierce her gentle soul. Her love remained the solid rock that kept the spirit whole. Oh, mother's love, a shield of promise, strong against the dark, a sanctuary for the weak, a shelter for the ark. She climbs the mountains of our fear to bring us to the sun and holds us in her mantle till the victory is won. When spiritual warfare rages high and arrows fly by day, she stands beside the weary heart to show the living way. No sinner is too far apart, no distance is too long. She turns our sorrow into hope and weeping into song. Oh, mother's love, a shield of promise, strong against the dark, a sanctuary for the weak, a shelter for the ark. She climbs the mountains of our fear to bring us to the sun holds us in her mantle till the victory is won. The battle fades, the stars appear, the world is calm and deep. She watches over all her own while we are fast asleep. A gentle touch, a silent prayer, a love that has no end. We rest securely in the arms of heaven's truest friend. Late light on the plaster, hairline cracks like glue. Candle smoke curls slow and silver. I'm small beneath your eyes. Hands together, clumsy prayer. Breath catching on your name. Dust afloat in quiet halos. Heart beating like a drum too far away. Virgin Mary, all this hurting, hold me steady. Virgin Mary, take these splinters, make them gentle. Virgin Mary, I am shaking, I am ready. Cold bench, wooden splinters, knees bruised through my jeans. Faded blue on the stained glass, your face soft, but you don't speak. I pour out my cracked up stories like coins on. If you see me in this shadow, not once, and I will know. Virgin Mary, hold this hurting, hold me steady. Virgin Mary, take these splinters, make them gentle. If I light one more small flame, will it reach you through the smoke? If I say the same old words, can you see what they broke? If I stay here till the morning, till the bells begin to ring, will you carve a path through sorrow, teach this tired throat to sing? Breath and bow on long river, names dissolve into the air. Voices rising, softly turning round a center, always there. Holy, holy, holy. Only air and trembling strength, sound grows thinner, light grows brighter, leaving just the space that clings.